Lot of people has impression that good communication or effective communication is all about speaking good English or good any language. I'm not denying that if you have a good command over good English or any language, it helps you to become an effective communicator. But this is not the truth. This is just one element of good communication. So what is a good communication? How you can define that this person or that person is a good communicator? Remember, a good communication or effective communication always produce one CTA, call to action. Let me explain what is CTA. You might have observed a politician who is supposed to be effective communicator. He mesmerized his audience in the rally. And because of his communication, effective communication, people, masses are bound to cast vote in his favor. So this communication is producing one call to action. Similarly, you might have observed a lawyer in the court. Because of his good argument, good effective communication, judge is bound to give the verdict in his favor. So this is again one CTA. So every communication, every effective communication has a good CTA, and that CTA is always in his favor, right? Now let me explain in the context of job how you can apply this concept, this principle of CTA in context of job. In job like especially in the IT industry, if you're from IT industry, or it can be any industry, not only for IT industry, because everywhere you have to communicate, right? You have to represent your idea, you have to represent your thought, you have to speak with people. So everywhere you have to do communication, everywhere. Let's suppose you are an architect. Okay, you're an architect and you have to represent your design or architecture to entire people or maybe client. If you're able to represent your idea, your architect, to the client, to the people who is the audience, then you are producing one CTA, you're producing one result, call to action in your favor. Okay, in your favor. Let's suppose you want to get some requirement from the client. You're talking to client and you are able to get all the requirement from the client, and let's suppose client is not willing to give you all the details, minute details, but because of your good communication, because of effective communication, you are able to draw all the information, each and every information from the client. Then you are a good communicator. Let's suppose your team is demotivated, team is not performing well, and you know the reason why your team is not performing well. And if you're able to motivate your team, you're able to communicate your idea that hey team, you should perform well in a different way, and your team is able to do what you want to do in your favor, that is a classical example of effective communicator. So my friend, in your job, you want to make progress, if you really want to go to the next ladder in your job, in your career, you have to be good communicator. So good communicator is all about producing CT in your favor. Okay, in your favor. An important thing, an important element of having good communicator or becoming effective communicator is you must know the context. Yes, context is very important. If you miss the context, you cannot become an effective communicator. For example, let's suppose there is a call between stakeholder or client. Okay, you're going to represent your idea. You're going to sell something. You're going to disclose the people, and you have no context around the deal. What I have to talk about, what is the deal about? I need to talk about what idea I need to represent in the meeting. You have no context, then you cannot sell your idea. You cannot sell your thought. You cannot become effective communicator. So context is very important. So before becoming a good communicator, you should know the context. You should know the detail, each and every detail. You have to do homework on the detailing, on the context. So before jumping to any call, any meeting, or having any discussion with any stakeholder, before that, do homework, work on the context. So this context will help you become effective communicator, and it help you to close the deal, to sell the idea, to close the people, to close the audience, to close the customer, to convince your client, to get the all relevant information, to motivate your people. So the context is the king. You should have very good in the context. Okay, so good communicator or effective communication and the job is all about, are you able to produce CT in your favor? What you want to do, are you able to achieve that? Are you able to motivate your team? Are you able to get the work done that what you want? This is about good communication. So I suggest you, if you don't believe that I'm not a good communicator, then work on that. It's a skill that you can master, you can learn, and it will help you in the job, in the career. And remember, before closing this session, the ability to make money depends the ability, the communication. If you can communicate, if you can produce CT in your favor, you can make money, you can progress, you can succeed. So become a good communicator. You can do anything. You can achieve all kind of success in your life. So be a good communicator.